Welcome to the Sonja Show. This is another Mother's Day edition segment. And today I am joined by Niya Prout, a mother of three, a newlywed, and a creative force in the film industry. From working in front of the camera to now helping bring stories to life behind the scenes, Niya is balancing motherhood, marriage, and a growing career in casting and production. And so today we're talking about what it really looks like to show up as a mother while pursuing purpose, navigating transitions, and building something meaningful along the way. Welcome to the show, Niya.
Hey, Sonja. Thank you for having me.
So let me just tell the people a little bit about you, okay? Niya is a Philadelphia native, and she began her career as a background actor before moving behind the camera, appearing in films like Creed 2, 21 Bridges, and Audrey's Children. She now works as a casting director, producer, and assistant director on independent films such as Eyes of Deception, Rathill, and The Perfect Escape. Founder of Trusty Casting, she helps discover talent and bring new stories to the screen. And so, welcome again, Niya. You are currently expanding your work, yes, in casting and film production, including collaborating on new projects.
I am. I'm working hard. I'm trying to just kind of keep my toes in to just about anything that someone offers me. As long as I can do it to the fullest, I don't mind. I try not to ever accept something if I know I can't just, bring it to the end. So as long as I can add something to it, and if I have a someone I know who can fill the role, or I know who's going to bring something to your film, I'm right there. Like that's my biggest thing. I love casting. I love working behind the scenes. Background was fun, but behind the scenes is definitely where that's my wheelhouse. That's where I think I
Mhm.
I um
I'm a witness. You're good at it. Real good. You're real good. So when did this happen for you? Like, when did you develop an interest for this
I
industry?
I think it was back when they were filming Creed 2 here in Philly, and I wanted to be on set with Rocky, Sylvester Stallone. I thought it would be so cool, and I'm like, well, I have vacation time. So I said, well, I'll take time off and see if I can get on as background. And, you send in your photo. Harry Loftus cast says either yes or no, or they email you, and they did. And I said, okay, see how this goes. And one day ended up being 3 days, ended up being 5 days. And I got to spend my vacations as a background actor on Creed 2, just, every time they said, all right, background, you're hollering, you're screaming, and you're there. And I'm just like, oh, I like this. I couldn't wait to do it again. You gotta wear the same thing every day, like anyone actually saw me, but it was still so fun.
Oh,
And
yeah.
then I asking, me, I ask questions. I'm like, well, how did they do that? Well, who's this? And it was great. And some people were nice and answered my questions, other people ignored, but that's okay. I still like to ask. And it kind of just put that bug kind of in my ear, and started looking. I'm like, how can I get on film sets? And then, a friend of mine showed me film.org. And after that, it was like, that was it. Every every job after that was film.org. And then I met so many people, and this was back in like 2018, I think. And so many of those relationships that I built back then, I still work with those same people now, you know?
Wow.
So if something, I'm like, hey, do you remember me? And I'm always happy to hear that. Of course I remember you. So it means I'm doing something right now.
That's amazing. That's amazing. So let's talk about parenthood.
Mm.
As a parent, you've learned that it's not just about what you say, it's about your actions. And your children have to see you get up, suit up, and show up every day.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely.
Mm,
You have They have to see that, even when you're tired, even when you don't feel like it, even when it's, raining or cold, you still have to go to work. Now, granted, everybody needs a day of rest, everybody needs to take time, but sometimes you have to just push through. And I tell them all the time that, we get the weekends and it doesn't last forever and it goes by fast. And even with my youngest daughter, she's going to graduate high school soon. And it was so many mornings where she's just like, I don't feel like going. I don't feel like going. And I'm just like, well, you have to go. You got to finish. And, sooner than later, she realized that, okay, if I go to school or if I don't go to school, what else are you going to do? I mean, you got to graduate. Do you want to be someone who doesn't finish school or someone who doesn't progress? Because that's not in you. Failure is not in you. And I kind of had to just show them that and also bargain with them too. I'm like, you know what? Maybe if you go to school today or you go to school up until Friday, maybe we can both leave early. Maybe we can go get lunch. Maybe we can have something to do on Saturday. You kind of have to, it's give and take a lot of times because they do get burnt out. My youngest is a straight A student. So sometimes I do give her a little leeway. I let her have a day or a couple hours or, things like that. You have to because then it's like, what are you doing all this for? Even with with adults, we treat ourselves. You go to work every day, Monday through Friday, and you work, and so maybe you can treat yourself to that frappuccino or those cute shoes, but you still have to do it because if you don't, there are no lights on.
right.
There's Wi-Fi. We're not eating dinner. Things you kind of have to just push forward sometimes. And I like to show them that you have to enjoy life, but you got to work.
Mhm. It's a good practice, very good practice, and, it prepares them for adult life. I remember listening to, older generations and,
Mhm.
how long they worked, and,
Yeah.
a lot of them were like, "But if I would do it again, might do it differently," and it was mainly because of, like, health challenges. They couldn't even enjoy, the time that they were now taking for themselves, in retirement, so
Don't wanna wait one day and I'm too old to enjoy a vacation or too old to just enjoy being with my kids, doing something fun that they wanna do, but I can't because my body physically won't
right.
let me.
Yeah.
You have to enjoy it, but you also gotta work hard for it too.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah. Well, I've seen you work hard. I have had the pleasure of being on a film project with you. I mentioned it earlier,
Yeah.
The Perfect Escape, written and directed by Antoine Brewington. Shout out to
Yes.
Antoine. And I had the pleasure of acting in that film that just premiered this year. And
And you were
oh,
wonderful, by the way.
thank you. It
Yeah.
was a blast. It was an amazing experience. But let me ask you, you played a very large role in bringing that film forward. How do you manage showing up in leadership roles and still carry on your responsibilities at home?
Well, I try to balance things. I try to make sure that when I'm on set, I don't forget that I am a mom. I am, someone's partner because everyone on set is either a mom or a sister, and they're still people. So, I think back to when I was on my first set and how the ADs were or the production managers were, and a lot of the great things that they did and how they treated people, and just how I felt comfortable being there, and I always want people on my set to feel comfortable. I wanna know how they're feeling. I wanna know if today is, have you eaten today? Did you have your coffee today? Or my tea drinkers. I wanna make sure that my vegans got their vegan food or their vegetarians got I wanna make sure everybody's on their game so that way they can give their best performance.
Awesome. So tell me, how would you describe this season in your life as a mother or a newlywed, a creative?
It's so peaceful. It really is so peaceful because even, we just got married last year and,
Okay.
just the 1 year anniversary, and it's so cool because 'cause we're both like, "Wow, that kinda went fast." and it's so much fun, and the fact that, my husband Kyle is a creative too, so he understands if I'm talking about a script or if I'm like, "Oh my gosh, we gotta do pickups or we have to do, a reshoot," and he understands that it's gonna take a while, that maybe I might miss a special event or whatever we have planned, and he gets it. He's like, "Oh, okay, you gotta shoot." And it kinda same thing for him when he has to go away for a shoot or he's on set for hours and I don't get a text back. I'm like, "Oh, he's working." It's like, I get it because you gotta get the shot, you gotta finish. But
Mhm.
it's so cool now. He gets along with my kids and they care about him and it's a really fun time. We got graduation coming up and it's all about celebration this year and it's nice to be able to share that they're looking at him saying, "Well, what do you think about this, Kyle? What do you think about that?" And I'm like, "Well, hello, I'm here." I'll say, well, Kyle knows. I'll ask him when he gets home. Like, but it's nice because they respect his opinion and they care about what he thinks. So
That's awesome.
it's a great feeling.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
What has motherhood taught you about yourself that you didn't expect?
Patience.
Mm.
You will be okay with having to repeat or having to show them again or having to maybe stretch out a conversation because you can see that they're hanging on your every word. And not so much now because they're older and things like that. But when they were younger, they wanted to know everything. Well, what do you think about this, mom? And what are we doing, mom? And what's that? Like it was amazing. And then you look at these little people and they look just like you. So you you want to keep telling them things and showing them things that you enjoy. Like I wanted them all to play tennis because I know how to play tennis. I wanted to show them and they were so excited. It was just great to give them that piece of me that I could show them. But they definitely have taught me to be patient. And even with other people when it comes to them. Because once someone does something to them, I'm just like, oh no. No, 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 no. Once somebody, does something to people you care about, you kind of give them a one strike and that's it. So that's another piece of patience that I had to learn too,
Mm.
that sometimes you gotta give a little leeway, especially with their friends and, people that they wanna be around. So to be a mom is to be patient, man. You
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So how
Yeah.
fine is the line between motherhood and friendship with your kids? Because your kids are older.
They they are, but it's just some things they know that, "No, mom's not gonna go for that." I want them to talk to me and I want them to tell me things, but I also want them to know that I'm here if you need anything, if you need to talk, if you need advice, or if you're just like, "It's 12 a.m. and I need a ride." Well, call. You know, that's 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 what I want them to know, that I won't ask questions, I'll just be there because I love you and I care and I don't want anything to happen to you. But are we going out for drinks? Are we hanging? No, no, we're not doing that. No. Like I hear people saying, "Oh yeah, I
Mm.
did this with my daughter," and my oldest will look at me because she's 23 and she's like, and I'm like, "I know, right? No, we're not doing that." It's just one of those things where we kind of have, I think we all have an understanding of like what is and is not to be expected
Mm.
because you do want a mom. I don't want to be her friend. She has friends. She'll have so many throughout her lifetime, but she's only getting one of me. So I want that relationship to grow because as she gets older, it changes a little bit, and it's nice. It's nice the way it's kind of evolving. And even my son, he's a little younger there. He's 19, but certain things he's like, no, I think I'll just hang out with my friends, and I'm fine with that. That's where you should be as a 19-year-old young man. You should be with your friends.
Mhm.
Mm. Yeah, I don't want them to think that mom is like that cool. I'm fine with being boring mom.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm.
So, what do you hope that your children will take away from watching you walk in your purpose?
I hope that they see that it's never too late. I'm still getting into film, but I started later, and I thought I was going to finish college and do that whole thing, but my journey took me somewhere else. And I hope that they realize that just because of where you start, that doesn't mean you have to finish there. You can always pivot and you can always change your mind and you can always learn something new. And, that's why I try, like when I came on set and I brought my daughter with me, I wanted her to see what we were doing. Like, I wanted her to understand why I'm leaving so early and coming home so late and kind of what it takes to make something and create something. So, whenever I can bring them on set, I want them to see it. Like, I brought my oldest daughter too to one scene we were doing for Perfect Escape. And she said, Mom, it's so long.
Mhm.
I want them to see the process, but I hope they take from watching me that you can keep going and you can keep trying new things. There's other things I want to try too. I want to direct and I'm writing and that'll be something else for the future. So it's never too late to start something new and to keep trying new things.
Mhm.
So I hope they see and say, "Well, Mom tried it. Well, I can try that too." And it's like, "Yep, yeah, you can."
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a great
So,
time.
as a mother, how has motherhood influenced the way you approach your work, right? Or
Mhm.
how does it influence the stories that you want to tell?
I guess it makes me wanna take a different perspective. Like it's well, one short that I wrote, and it's about abortion. This story about a young lady who is in college, and she's the first generation to actually go and finish. But she has a summertime fling, and she ends up getting pregnant. And the story that I wrote follows her journey. At the end of my short story, you don't know if she goes through with it or not. The point of the story is not to choose abortion, choose life. It's just about having the choice. I wrote it because I want people to just understand that it's not an easy choice. I wanted to show that this choice is very, very difficult
Mm.
and everyone making it has a reason behind it.
Now, you and your husband work on film together, don't you?
We do, we do. We met on someone else's film, but we were doing As a Deception. We were working on that film for years. But yeah, yeah, we work on film together. We're working on one
Yeah.
now. Yeah, you're in it.
Yes, I am.
Working on Melodies of
I
Life.
love
We
watching
are.
the two of you work together. It's just the cutest little thing to see.
You know what? It's still fun. I just wanna make sure he has what he needs when he's working and that things run smoothly.
Mhm, mhm, mhm. Where can my audience, find you on social media?
Well, I'm on Facebook at Niya Prout, and then also on, Instagram at ntrust_me, and usually I'm posting something on film.org. I'm actually casting right now on Backstage for a series called Nest, and that's, a series that's gonna be shooting in
Oh,
June. So I'm looking for about, I think it's like 7 actors. It's by Nate Godston, and, yeah, I'm working on that now.
I'm a witness. If you all are looking, for anybody, you need to be looking for her to work on your film or your series or whatever creative project that you have going on because she's a true professional. You won't regret it. I can promise you that. So
Thank
thank
you.
you, Naya. Really appreciate you being with us today. I'm hoping that you'll come back for a part two because I know you'll have something to share with all that you have
Oh,
going on.
I will, you know me. Absolutely.
Maybe we'll have to bring you and Mr. Proud. How about that?
Oh my god, for sure. He would love it.
Thank you again for coming on and sharing with us today.
It was a pleasure.
Conversations like this remind us that motherhood is a journey, one that requires grace, strength, and a willingness to keep showing up. So remember, friends, you're not on this journey alone. Join me for the next segment, and let's embrace these moments together.